Alright guys, what's up? Raiden here. So today we have a video I've been wanting to make since the day I saw it. I'm going to be reacting to Catling Gun's responses to reacting to other people complaining about Nightreign in general. I have some pretty strong opinions about this, and I just wanted to, let's get right into it, man. Let's just talk about it. I'm not going to even waste too much time.
You're not using Executor or Recluse? I'm leaving the game. Go cry about it. You're a terrible teammate.
Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Read what the you pick up. Please, for the love of God.
So Nightrein's been out for some time now, and most.
So to kind of make sure we're clear on how I'm going to do this, I'm going to be responding to two parts. I'm going to respond what Catling Gun says, because most of his takes I agree with. Like, I'm sub to his channel, as you can see. Good content, love his work. Shout out to him, by the way. But he has, I think, one or two points that I think it might be just one, we'll get there, that I have a strong left turn on. And other than that, we're pretty good. The remainder of the points is going to be me responding to the people that he's responding to that are complaining. So just to kind of give you guys an idea of how this video is going to go.
Most Souls fans are pretty positive about it. Like, not as good as regular Elden Ring, but still a fun time. Usually I talk about Nightrein's routes and boss guides, but today we're going to do something a little different, and that is to review some absolutely wild takes in Nightreign. So if I really like a game, I might join the community subreddit, or the few times that I'm on Facebook, I might join a Facebook page. And actually, I kind of enjoy seeing like tips and tricks and funny memes. I kind of like the tarnished AI vlogs. But the other day I was browsing through Facebook, I know, kind of weird, on the specifically the Nightreign Facebook group, and I was reading some of the posts and like, wow. People love to complain. I mean, this is not something new for any Facebook group or any group in general.
All right, so let's start with that. Yeah, I agree 100%. And the thing about the complaining is it's not in the form of what you might think. You know, it's not a harmless post or something like that, or they might not just go on social media and say, hey, this is not happening. The thing about this community is that they'll act on this complaining nature and take action to rectify it or take it out on other players. Like if you're not following their route, or if they're pinning 15 times per step and you don't follow them to the T, they'll leave or they'll intentionally down to harm you. But we'll talk about that later. Something that a player did on one of my live streams that actually pissed me off. We'll get to that in a minute.
But today we're gonna check out some of the posts and some just terrible takes and terrible tips and opinions. But to set everyone in the mood, let's start with my favorite.
I have 250 hours in Nightreign, and here are some things I wish I could tell my random teammates when I play with them.
So
we're gonna start right there. He's gonna talk about it, but I want to touch on this real quick. The hours that you put into the game don't matter. I'd have to just start with that. To kind of give a small background on myself, I used to be a pro Storm player. The game is old. I know nobody plays it no more, but at the time that it was active, I played very competitively, and I was able to play up there with some of the top tier players, if you know who they are, and SK, Noble, stuff like that, right? And I even joined one of the clans because of my skill, and I got better. And I cannot tell you how many players have tens of thousands of hours in that game and were just bad at it. And they didn't understand why. They didn't try to get better because of their mentality. The way you think determines if you get better. And having 200 hours or 400 hours in the Souls game does not amount to skill. I'm telling you that right now. The majority of people that play Elden Ring are trash. They're not good. Then you have the people who actually want to learn and are competent. They're like middle ground. A good chunk of them are in the middle, and they actually, you know, they'll watch tip videos, they want to get better, they take information well, and then you got the top players who are like maybe 3-4% that are really good, right? It's a PvE game, so it's kind of hard to say you're good in a sense like that, but that's the case. But these people that say I have 1,500 hours, I have 300 hours in the game, I'm telling you, bro, they're bad. They're not good. These type of people, they're like the guy in the video. I promise you, if you watch his gameplay, he's dog water. We watch him do a run. He's not good. He's not good. I'm gonna let Catling take over though.
right off the bat, we got the hour drop, which is 250. Now, it's been my experience, whenever somebody drops their total hours in a game, that tells me absolutely nothing. You can have 1,000 hours in a game and still be terrible. Prime example, I had a roommate in college. He was on academic probation and was only taking like 2 classes. Still managed to fail both of them. but he played Modern Warfare 2, the original, like Xbox 360 Modern Warfare 2, just all day. I mean, would skip classes. Again, he only had 2. He would skip the 2 classes just to play Modern Warfare 2. And I sat there and I watched him play. Now, I'm not the best at Call of Duty. I'm pretty good. I'm well above average. And it was infuriating to watch him play. I mean, this guy, no better than a .2. Yet, I would venture over the span of 2 semesters that he probably put in about 1,000 hours. Still terrible. I mean, practice definitely makes perfect, but you got to learn from your mistakes. You got to figure out the routes to go. You got to figure out spawn points. You know, it's going to vary depending on the game that you play. But anyway, let's see his takes.
The first thing I would tell them is I'm not doing that stupid cave. So many times I've seen people mark the cave like, bro, no. We will get better weapons. The cave is a literal waste of time.
This is...
We gotta start with this one. Dumb take. That's a stupid ass take. The cave gives you level 2 weapons on your base weapon, and for certain characters in the game, the base weapon is actually pretty damn good. Take Executor, the GOAT himself. The weapon he starts with is better than, I would say, maybe 70% of the katanas you could potentially pick up. The only katana that's going to outdo your weapon by like a vast amount is Rivers of Blood. Hand of Millennia does more output damage, but has no status effects outside of bleed. I think it has rot sometimes. I've picked it up where it had rot, but that's not guaranteed. And the attack after post, whatever bullshit effect it has, is garbage in Nightreign because everybody moves too quick, so it doesn't matter. Eleonora's pole blade is pretty good, but that's not a katana. Moonveil is okay, but it's not as strong in this game due to the scaling for Executor. It is strong, but Rivers of Blood is hands down the strongest katana you can pick up for Executor because of the bleed damage and the physical damage it's going to do. It's both, and it scales S with 2 of your character stats, which are S. You have an S in Arcane, you have an X in Dex, and Rivers of Blood is an S in both. So that's the best weapon you can pick up. Outside of that, and like a really souped up, like I just said, Hands of Millennia, or a Dragon Scale Blade, which is not stronger than Rivers of Blood, your base katana is really strong. You could put 2 affinities on it. In fact, I'm gonna put some on the screen. You could put 2 affinities on there. On top of the fact that it already does bleed, you could put poison and frost buildup. Now you have 3 procs. No other weapon in the game can you do that with. There isn't a single weapon in the game that can do that. They can have 3 status effects at once. So you can have poison, frost buildup, and bleed. So you're giving them continuous tick damage with poison. You're giving them a 10% debuff on all incoming damage from anyone when you hit them with frost. What does that mean? That means your entire team does more damage, not just you. So you're helping yourself and the whole team. And then to top it off, you're doing percentage chunk damage when you hit them with a bleed proc. It's called hemorrhage, right? You hit them, it's going to take a percentage of their entire health bar and chunk that shit down. That's 3 status effects on one starting weapon that you can increase to at least up to 150 base damage, not include any other buffs or anything else that you might have, right? If you're running the 3 katanas bullshit or ever goals, all your damage goes up. So to say that caves are useless is just like, this is just dumb. It's just not right. It doesn't make any sense. There is nuance to that. It's not worth it for like the recluse because you're going to pick up better staffs like immediately. But if you're in front of a cave and you need that extra little damage, that could be the difference between you clearing day 1 or getting steamrolled because your weapon is not doing enough damage, and it's guaranteed. That's the part that makes this so stupid. It's not even the fact that he's flat out wrong when it comes to a damage perspective. It's the fact that the better weapons are not guaranteed. I have went through runs where I picked up absolutely no legendary katana. No Moonveil, no Hand of Millennia, no Rivers of Blood, nothing, no Dragon Scale Blade. I did not see one that I got fucked. And this almost always happens on team runs. On solo, I always get Rivers of Blood for some reason. I don't know why, but on solo, I always get Rivers of Blood. But when I'm on that team, man, katanas for some reason are few and far between. I don't know what's up with the RNG, but I'm not promised to get a legendary katana. I get lucky if my teammate drop one. Like I only picked up Hand of Melina like 3 times. I did over what 200 runs. Most of the time I get that weapon because someone else picked it up and they were looking out for me. But generally speaking, I get bad RNG with the Executor. So I'm depending on the damage output of my starting katana, which I keep and I never drop. And it's got the best stats effects. So this is just I hope nobody listens. This is just an asinine take. It's a noob take. You're not considering everything that goes into a run. It's not just, oh, get legendaries. It's RNG. Sometimes we just get fucked. We get bad drops, man. And with Recluse is even worse. I get even worse drops with Recluse. It's so RNG. If I don't get Stars of Ruin or Shatterstar or Anchor, the Ranker, whatever it's called, the one with the little ghost heads, like it's about to be a bad time because the boss is all over the place and I can't catch them anyway. You know what I mean? So bad take, backwards ass thinking when it comes to the caves. Like the caves are goated. Like you gotta chill with that.
Stupid. So if you didn't know, if you go to a cave, you can get a somber smithing stone by beating the boss in there. It's either like a giant pumpkin head knight, but it's the level 2 smithing stone, and it's going to take your blue weapon to a purple weapon or rare augment. You can also find regular smithing stones in there. If you don't, you can just go find a merchant and then upgrade that way. But why this is a terrible take is that you can have relics to make your starting weapon really good. So for the Executor, he can put frost,
the jokes write themselves.
poison, and then his weapon already does bleed. So that's 3 procs, and he's the proc expert. So his starting weapon is actually really, really good. Now imagine you start a game and you immediately make that purple. And further, a lot of people don't know this, but in order to use rare augments in the game, you have to be level 7, unless you upgrade it yourself. Then you can use it at any level. So if you hit a mine right off the bat, now you can have a purple weapon before the first ring even begins to close. Why wouldn't you do that? Now, it is true that you can get rare items later in the game, but they're not guaranteed to be the weapons that you want. You can custom make your starting weapon and then make it really good, and then if you find a rare weapon later, just switch it out for that.
And to add to that, I'm not doing ruins and camps on day 2. Day 2 is spent either fighting field bosses or doing the shifting arts or the castle. Clearing out ruins and camps doesn't net you enough runes into the late game to justify wasting your time there.
This is another take I wanted to talk about. That's not true. First of all, the runes you get are the same runes you would have got on day 1, and those camps are loaded with enemies and decent drops. Like I've gotten, katanas that were stronger than the stuff that you might have. And the issue with this, honestly, if you want me to just be honest and cut to the chase, it's the mentality that really affects the players when it comes to this type of mentality. Because if you're telling yourself, oh, I'm not going to go to this because it's day 2, I need to focus on the day bosses, you're only thinking about yourself. Your team might have got shitty RNG. This is what I'm talking about, the mentality that's fucking up these co-op sessions. It's not about you, it's about the team, right? When I'm stepping into this map and I'm playing with other people, I have to consider my teammates, because the bosses consider your teammates. The scale of this boss is way higher than when you're by yourself. I need people to understand that. You've watched the videos, you've seen me do solo runs, you see how much damage I do, you see me do team runs, you see how much damage I don't do, because the bosses are overcompensating for the fact that there's 3 people, right? So it's way harder to beat a boss by yourself when there's 3 people there. I've tried it. Go into a match, go into a boss, and in some way communicate with your teammates to stand back. Watch it take you an hour to beat that boss by yourself, simply because of how much health he has. The sentient pest is so tanky when there's 3 people. He is so tanky, right? So this mentality is a solo mentality, because if you're saying you're not going to go to the other camps on day 2, you're assuming that your teammates already have weapons at the level that you have, and that they are performing at the level that you have, when they may not be. They might need that extra couple levels. They might need those drops that come there, right? That might be there. And you running through a camp that could take you less than a minute to beat because you're on day 2. Let's think about this for a second. It's day 2, so you're way stronger in the camp. Day 2, if you're doing a run correctly, you kind of want to see 7, 8 on day 2. If you're doing good, you get an 8 or above. You're doing great, you're getting a 7. Anything below a 7, it's like you're kind of in the red, right? So you start day 2 with a 7 or 8. You outscale every camp you're going to come across. There's not a camp in the game that you can't steamroll solo, even with 3 people. So to say you're not going to run through them because it's a waste of time, you're going to be done so fast, it's worth to just go through it, get the runes, get some good drops, help out your teammates, right? You might find something that's going to help you beat that day boss that, again, is RNG. The camps have a higher drop rate because there's more stuff to kill, there's more chances. The boss is just one boss, and you got to hope he has a drop for you, and then the other teammates drop, and then they might get something you need, and vice versa. So just this mentality overall is so anti-teammate. I see why so many people are having attitudes leaving, because look at how they think. This is who you're playing with. In case you were wondering, this is your teammate. Guys that think like this.
I agree with to an extent. So it is true that doing the smaller objectives, and I talk about this in my other video, how to get to level 15 every time, is yes, they're good starting objectives to do right off the bat, maybe to get to level 2 or level 3, but you really should be going after, especially on day 1, like ever goals, and if you can, try to get to the basement of the castle.
All right, this is just a personal take, not saying he's wrong. The ever goals are only worth it if you're running that meta. If not, you can just skip them. They're not worth it. I'm pretty sure he's doing the Evergold meta, which is fine. You know, I get it. It is the highest damaging relic and has the highest potential. Currently, right now, nothing outdoes it. But I mean, that's just boring. So this is more of a like he's not wrong. It just I disagree type thing. I don't want to do the Evergold run. It's boring. Personally, and it just gets stale because it's the same thing, and you kind of know the bosses that are going to show up, especially depending on the map. So I don't really agree with that. But yeah, it's legitimate. You can do the Evergolds, obviously do the most damage, but no, we're not doing that.
So in the middle, but yeah, especially like day 2, trying to do those smaller objectives, they're just not going to bank you enough runes. The exception to this is that if you go to certain forts, like the mini castles and like the mausoleums, they have a pretty high chance of giving you more stone sword keys, which then you can use to open more ever goals. So it really kind of just depends on what the...
This is what I'm saying. So I'm not saying he's wrong, but it depends on your playstyle, like what he's saying. So he goes there because he does it. I'm pretty sure, I'm willing to bet he does the Evergold meta, right? So for him, it's worth it just for the keys. I would argue the drops from the weapons you get there are still worth it if you're just running right through it. Now to seek them out, no, I agree they may not be worth it. But if you're passing through them, because the bosses are pretty spread out, it depends on the shifting earth that you have. It might be worth it to just go through there simply for the fact that you can just get it done so quick. It's some quick money, right? It's in your face. If it's the rotted woods, you know, you kind of far on the other side of the map when it spawns you in, so you can run through them on day 2 after you kill the main boss and grab a couple weapons. It's not so much for the runes as it is for the weapons and the potential drops, because this is RNG. But Evergolds, personally, like I said, they're great for damage, but I personally don't like them.
Rest of your team is kind of doing, and like if you're playing with 2 other randoms and they're going off and they're doing smaller objectives, it's just probably in your best interest to follow them and not go off by yourself and try to fight a great boss. Because if you're just going to play by yourself, then you might as well just play solo and make it easier on yourself.
The second thing
Nah, man, right there. Shout out for him for saying that. This is my first point that I absolutely love that he made that. When you're playing team, you kind of have to bend to the will of your teammates, whether you want to or not. I get it. Sometimes they might be going places you don't want to go, but it's worth it in your best interest to just go with them, man. They might be going somewhere you don't want to go. They might be doing some things that are not optimal, but I think people don't understand how high the scaling is for 3 people, especially on day 2. And you think you're about to steamroll that boss by yourself, and then you die, right? So now you're across the map, dying to the same boss over and over again, while your teammates over there, they're doing okay, but the boss is scaled for 3 people. The field bosses are scaled for 3 people. So they have the amount of damage output and HP to survive 3 people, but there's only 2. So you not being there is functionally hurting the team. This is what I'm talking about. You need a team-based mindset. I need you guys to think like a team. Otherwise, just go play by yourself, or play with your girlfriend or your people that you know that you can communicate with, right? We're playing with randoms. We're at the mercy of each other. You know, this game is going to live and die on good teammates and good gameplay. That's why people are already asking for duos, because outside of wanting less people and being a co-op and people not having a way to communicate, look how people are playing, you know? It's crazy. But yeah, team-based mindset.
I would tell my randoms is if you go down and you have 3 bars to revive you, you're not getting revived anytime soon. You may as well be out of the fight. And I would tell my other teammate to not revive you because they're just going to get downed in the process.
Okay, yes, so Nightreign has a mechanic, right, is that more you go down, the harder it is for your team to revive you, right? This is going to prevent you from just always reviving your teammates in the middle of fights. It's more risky, it takes more time to do it. This is all while the boss is fighting you. In fact, you can notice that if one teammate is trying to revive somebody else, normally the boss will then switch their aggro to that person. So yeah, it can be incredibly difficult to revive somebody that's 3 bar down. However, I would say don't go into this game with that type of mentality. Like, nobody's going to want to play with you with that. Again, nobody can really hear you, but there are opportunities, especially with the final boss of an expedition, when they're stunned, when they're exhausted after doing like a heavy attack. You can kind of coordinate using your ult, maybe with another teammate. You can get people up from a 3 bar, but to just flat out say, you know what, I'm just not going to revive anybody. I'm not going to even make the attempt. Kind of a self-report. You know, if you're good enough and you can use your abilities and you can get somebody up, why not bring them back into the fight if you can? Again, it's kind of less about like giving tips here and it's just more like complaining about his teammates.
The third thing.
Okay, so I have a nuanced opinion about that. I gotta be honest, I agree with the dude. Not Catling Gun, I agree with the other guy. Now, if you've been in the match, depending on the character you're using, is where the nuance comes in. If I am Iron Eye, then yeah, I can probably get you up. I have an ultimate that automatically takes up 2 bars, and I can revive you from range. Right? Recluse, nah, hers takes 2. Iron Raider, I don't even know what his takes. But generally speaking, I gotta disagree here. It's not worth it to bring up that teammate, because if you look at the psychology of what he just said, he said you shouldn't go in this with this mentality of, oh, if someone goes down, you're not going to help them up. Well, maybe, because if they go down more than twice, and they're down 3 times, it doesn't mean you're saying, oh, fuck them, they're not good. It's literally not in your best interest to try to revive that character, because if you're trying to revive that character, like he stated, you get boss aggro on yourself, plus you're not doing damage. You're focusing on bringing someone up. Then you also have to entertain the idea that, is that person actually assisting you? What if they're not good, right? Like, what if you're trying to bring them up and then they go right back down right after? Then you waste time. You're trying to bring them up again, you're gonna get hit. If you're good enough to not get touched, okay, they're not gonna come up fast. That 3 bar is a lot thicker and heavier than you think. It's not the same. Each bar scales heavier. The first one's easy, the second one's harder, the third one is the hardest. The amount of damage you have to do when someone has 3 bars, it's literally not worth it. You gotta just leave them there. If you get an opportunity, if you can try to work around it, I say do it. So in a sense, I agree with him, right? Like, I don't write someone off. I'm willing, if there's wiggle room, I would like to bring them up. I want them to be in the fight. Like, if the boss is halfway health, I don't want them just laying there for the whole fight. You know what I mean? It's like, they might leave, right? You know what I mean? So I get it in a sense that, yeah, that's not sportsmanship, kind of, but it's like, if the boss is down to like 30% or even 40, he's down, man. 3 bars is just, because if you wipe, that's worse. If you're focusing on him, I cannot tell you how many streams I've had where it's me and 2 other people, and one guy is paying more attention to bringing somebody up instead of just killing the boss. The boss is at 20% health, dude. Let's finish this, and then he'll get up. Right? I'm an Iron Eye, and my Wilder is trying to bring up the Recluse that's been down twice already. Right? She's on her 3rd bar. She's done. The dude's, 20%. Let's knock this out. He's over there running over there, swinging at her. What do you think happened? I'll let you figure out what happened, right? But So I don't know. I don't really agree with this entirely. I think there's going to come a point where you just got to stay down. It's not worth it. The damage output is not worth it. The focus switch is not worth it. And I've lost so many runs trying this method. Right, my teammate. I usually play a support character depending on the boss I'm fighting, and I'm able to get somebody up to a point. So I can't agree with this one. The mentality he's saying, I get it. No one's going to want to play with you. I disagree. I disagree. If you're going down that many times, I would argue no one wants to play with you. If you're trying to pick me up and I keep going down, then you're a liability. You're not. What's going on? Why are you continuously going down? You know what I mean? I would argue you're the problem. If the team keeps having to help you, you're hurting the entire team. You are the problem, not the team not picking you up. You're down there for a reason. Are we all down? Are you the only one that keeps getting 3 bars? Okay, you're not good. Maybe you're not trash. Maybe you're just having a bad run. Okay, fine. But to say it's the other people's fault for the mentality of not bringing you up, it's toxic to completely write you off. Yes, but after a certain point. Nah, man, you about to lay there, and that's just how I feel.
And this is the most important thing, drop good items for your teammates. If I'm playing Duchess and I see you have a Moonveil in your inventory and you're not using Executor or Recluse, I'm leaving the game. Go cry about it, you're a terrible teammate, you don't know how to play the game, I don't care. I never thought I'd say this, but there needs to be some skill-based matchmaking.
This is obviously his worst take. He's going to complain about this one like a child here. When you go into an expedition, you're not guaranteed any weapon. Every time you take down a boss, there's a level of random generation that happens, right? You can increase your chances of getting certain weapons, certain good weapons, if you of course go for the big bosses, the great field bosses, or do the shifting earth objective. But let's say you're playing the Executor, you're not guaranteed the Rivers of Blood. Now, let's say a teammate gets the Rivers of Blood, and let's say they're playing Raider, a weapon that does not scale well with them. He's not entitled to give you that weapon. You're random who he has never talked to and can't talk to. You should be good enough at the game where you don't need a specific weapon in order to beat the night boss. But probably why he's the most whiny here is he didn't upgrade his starting weapon in the mine. So now he's forced, in order to hopefully get a rare weapon that scales well with his character that he really likes. It's so ridiculous, man. But good news for his teammates. If he does leave, 2 things happen. 1, you lose a very annoying teammate. And 2, all the bosses have lost 1/3 of their health because it's going to scale down for only 2 players, and they have less poise. So you're going to be doing more stance breaks. So honestly, it's a net positive. But yeah, I scroll through the comments and most people kind of agree, yeah, this guy's just whiny.
All right, so here is the biggest point that I disagree with. This is I would say the number 1 point I have a hard disagree on, like a straight left field. So I actually made a post about this on Reddit. I'll post it here if I can find it. If it doesn't show up, it means I couldn't find it. I disagree hard with this one, man. I can't agree with Caitlyn Gunn. I don't agree with this one. Saying that no one owes you a weapon is correct. He's right. No one has to drop you a weapon. This is randomized. You don't know these people, and yeah, it's like they don't owe you the weapon. But to say that you should be able to do the run with any weapon is fundamentally incorrect. Can you do it with any weapon? Of course you can. Like, obviously, you're gonna play solo and you're gonna pick up what you can get, right? But this mentality of, oh, you don't owe them the weapon is again anti-sportsmanship. This is a team-based game. I need these guys to understand he's not whiny. The way he's going about it is kind of whiny. So I think that's why he's saying he's a complainer and he's kind of, attacking him. But that's whatever. We're going to focus on the topic. He's right. And that's just the truth. There's minor nuance to this. The response I got on Reddit was the same bullshit ass response I'm getting here. And this is a weak argument, and I will stand on this. Oh, it has passive effects with nuance. And my thing is this: if your passive effect does not outweigh the benefit of the weapon being given to the correct person, you are hurting the team. Stars of Ruin on any other character other than a recluse does nothing. I don't care what passive is on that weapon. If you pick up Stars of Ruin and there's a recluse on your team and you don't give it to her, you're an ass. It's that simple. You are trolling. You're trying to make the run go bad. I will hear no other opinions on this matter. Stars of Ruin is for the recluse. Period. Any of those Ranny's Moon is for the recluse. Okay? Give it to your recluse. Give the weapon to your recluse. I don't care what passive is on there. I don't care if it's extra FP or extra health. You're hurting the team, man. If you see Rivers of Blood and you're not an executive, or you're not an Iron Eye, or you're not, maybe Duchess, I could say, she could probably use it. Give it to one of them, bro. Like you know what I mean? Those three characters I just mentioned benefit the most off that weapon. Wilder he's a melee character, so I've seen them keep it. It's hurting the team, but you know, certain weapons is where the nuance will say. Like I said, some weapons are like okay, but as an executor, I have no business with a legendary colossal weapon in my inventory. You know what I mean? Even if I have no legendaries, I'm giving it to the raider, because the fact of the matter is that, you know, if you don't, the damage drop off is insane. It's not 5%. We're talking 30-40% sometimes of a difference in damage that you are withholding because of some passive. Like, that's selfish. It is selfish. It's not whiny or complaining. It's a fact. It's not even up for an opinion. It's a literal fact that the weapons scale better. This is not Elden Ring where you can use whatever weapon you want. You can, but you're doing an extreme disservice to yourself. If an Iron Eye is running around using magic weapons, he's not going to do any damage. That's just the truth, and you literally can't change that. In Elden Ring, yeah, you can build whatever you want. This is not Elden Ring, this is Nightreign. We had predetermined, pre-made, already set up characters that are designed around these weapons, right? I'm not saying every damn weapon you pick up, you gotta, oh, should I give this to them? But those top tier legendary weapons that are literally class specific, you are fucking up the flow of the team by just deciding as a recluse to keep Reduvia's blade or Eleonora's pole blade from a Iron Eye or an executor. So yeah, hard disagree with Cal and Gunn on this one. I don't agree, man. Put the weapon down, give it to someone else. I can't tell you how many runs I've completed where I've seen people with recluse weapons, and it's like, you had Stars of Ruin and you're a damn raider, and you like, what are you doing? You can't even use the weapon. And what passive? It had no passive on it. You know what I mean? The issue, what I'm saying, the issue I have with this is that he's coming from a healthy perspective. He's coming from the sense of, oh, no one owes you nothing. Maybe debatable. I guess they don't, but yeah, they're fucking up if they don't. Go play by yourself if that's the mentality that you have. If you're not going to drop weapons for your team, why are you playing in a team? You know what I mean? That's my counter argument. You're literally fucking it up for everybody. Go play by yourself if you want to keep all the weapons you pick up for the passives. This is about the team. You can comfortably play this game solo. FromSoft has made it that way where you can do so. So why are you playing in a team mindset? You're playing a team game with a solo mindset. This is a problem this game is suffering right now. And this takes like this, talking about, oh, nah, man, drop the weapon. Drop the weapon.
I'm surprised that he has 250 hours and he doesn't know how to be a good teammate. So the next guy, we're going to review a couple of his posts. One of the most insufferable people, and I pray that I do not get him as a random anytime soon. So I'm not going to show his name or anything. He posts in like all the Elden Ring groups, but let's read some of his posts. He says, so I need to have a conversation with the Raider stands again. So I'm on the mic with somebody playing Raider and another random who was sweet, but she was new and lagging behind us a bit on the map. So the Raider and I was just mobbing shit and left some small enemies here and there for her to kill so she wouldn't feel left out. Very nice of you. Thank you. So Raider guy and I hit up a castle and we go through the basement and we see that there's a bell-bearing hunter down there. So I specifically said, go ahead and attack him. I got a clear shot at him. Just dog him. I don't know what's going on here. He said, okay, bro. Why my mans took like 3 steps inside and cast Totem. because that's his ultimate, I guess. I instantly just muted my headset and microphone and sat down. Then when Homegirl came, she asked me a effed up question. Why are you sitting down? I just simply said, no reason at all. Now, to be fair, the raider didn't die and we were able to help. So it was never a problem here. Nobody died and they ended up defeating the bell-bearing hunter. But guys, please be aware of the team that you have around you and the small spaces that you're fighting in. Shake my head. So
see, this is, and now we arrive at the reason why I can't stand the Souls community. The overly annoying and aggressive nitpicking of playstyles. There's team-based thinking, and then there's bullshit like this, bro. There's nothing wrong. You guys still won at the end, okay? This is why we don't have new players, because you guys want to move like this. You're nitpicking the fights. Like, as long as everything gets done in the end and you guys win, who the fuck cares? You're coming in there spamming ults. Okay, they're having fun. She want to come in there, he or she want to come in there and spam an ult. It's bell-bearing hunter. They might got scared. I don't understand this, but I want to hear Kayleen's take on this, because I haven't watched this far into the video yet.
why is he mad again? He's mad because his raider cast his ultimate. Let me look in the comments. So somebody says, I feel like you could have better described what the totem did to piss you off. Sure it was casted, but did it cut you guys off and block the entrance? Did it trap you guys in? You also could have properly communicated what happened so that she'd know what really went on. Just my opinion. Though he just responded with, cut me off and cut off my spells. Okay. So maybe I'm doing more calculation than I need to. So you said he took 3 steps inside the basement area. Cast totem. And sure, it might have blocked some of your spells, but can't you move around? But also he said it cut him off. Where could it have possibly done that? I know the entrance to that basement, it's a huge area. There's no way that totem cut you off. If it was on the side areas, sure, but you specifically said he took 3 steps inside. So I don't know, maybe I'm looking too much into it, but I don't find that too big of an annoyance. I think the most annoying thing that sometimes the boss can get stuck in the raider ult, but I don't really blame the raider. I think there should be a mechanic where you can take away the totem if you like.
Yeah, that's not the player's fault. That's FromSoft. This game is still glitchy. At this current point, I can't tell you how many times bosses have floated in the air, walked outside of the circle, attacking whoever the fuck they were attacking. So I don't blame the player for that. A lot of people in Reddit have been complaining about the Raider ult because it does get in the way, but it's like, it's not worth you bitching and whining on Reddit about that, man. Like, just go around it. He's right. And he's right. The hallway is pretty big, so you can go around it. You know what I mean? It doesn't do that. It doesn't really stun bell bearing because nothing stuns bell bearing. He's just that nigga. But I don't know. This is a weird thing to complain about. I don't even really know what he's angry about. He's just talking. I'm confused here.
Like, click the alt again, but that's a mechanic problem. That's not a player problem. My favorite thing is that everyone was fine. Like, nobody had to reset or anything. He's just complaining to complain. But you're going to notice this theme for this guy. So I had some videos on hand for this, but he actually just posted the other day. So let's look at this one. Raider mains strike again. Now he could have simply went to the other side of the night, let me aggro. And when we just confuse the AI, but no. Sorry, let me aggro and we just confuse the AI. I don't know what he means by that. Am I missing something? But I
He might be a troll. He might just be... I don't know. Maybe he's bait farming or some shit, because this doesn't even make any sense. I think he just wants to complain. There is this trend going around where people complain about bad Nightreign players, and it's just the most minute shit, like you picking up and using status effects or something. It's just minor shit. My complaints come from the major things that actually hinder gameplay, like have a team-based mindset. Share weapons when you can. You should, and I will argue anybody on that point that you need to share weapons that are appropriate to your character. But outside of that, like the rest of this shit, like what is this bullshit? Somebody's ult, like they're gonna have to get better by the game as they play. Yes, there's a lot of bad players, but we need to be talking about running around the damn map by yourself when your teammates don't want to come with you, when you fucking spot the ground every fucking 5-10 feet you walk, you know, marking the ground each step to come with you, then you leave anyway. You know, and then I want to show a clip about this. I think I recorded it. I don't remember. But this dude followed me into the sentient pest boss, I believe, and just stood there. He didn't help. You know what I mean? So when I'm talking about toxic, I mean actually toxic. I don't mean shit like this. He's just bitching and whining. I mean actually, like, you're actually trying to hinder the progression of the game. You're going to the boss room and just standing there. You know what I mean? You're intentionally not doing anything. That's what I'm talking about. These salty ass, trash ass players are ruining co-op because of this type of mentality. So, I don't know.
I get him pulling the aggro. Okay, so let's see the video. Fantastic audio quality, by the way. This guy is filming with a potato.
You guys I'm not tripping, hold on. So, Raider fans, once again, right?
Also can barely hear him.
I'm getting my reward. I'm looking at shit. And he's obviously waiting for us. And I have a clear path. I don't have to jump over there. He doesn't have to do this. See, this is what I'm talking about. This is exactly that. Exactly that. And why? You could have just let me cast. You could have just let me cast. Attack him from the other side and let me aggro.
So he's mad that Raider popped his ult. Obviously, it's blocking his shots. Again, like I said, instead of moving around the totem, he's just going to stand there and complain that the Raider cut off a couple of...
He could have just walked around. I don't know what the fuck he's complaining about, bro. Just get you off your lazy ass, jump across, and go around. Like, so the fuck what? This is that bullshit optimal gameplay that the community like to bitch about. Just walk your ass over there, finish the match. Like, shut up, bro.
of his spells. like this is so goofy. This has to be rage bait. Like this it's working. It's working against me. He has to be getting me somehow. These can't be real criticisms that he has.
That's what I just said. I think he's just posting bullshit because this stuff definitely pisses me the fuck off. Some of the stupidest shit I think I've ever seen.
Dude, he posts a lot here. All right, so one more from him because it's so funny. So Preface, I'm sure a couple of people know my face in these groups. Oh, we do now. I'm a Peri-Celestial. Cooked with that one, he cooked. I'm a battle mage. In terms of PvP, I can be really toxic. But in terms of PvE, I do my best to help everyone. I'm sure you do. That being said, I do agree that the community could be a bit more welcoming to noobs and average gamers. Says the guy that posts 20 times a day complaining about randoms. But when things like what happened in the first video below happens, it's unforgivable. P.S. Noobs, please understand your character's strengths and weaknesses. Either that or stop being distracted by shiny things. Kids shouldn't play with adult toys.
Here we go. This is like this guy is the reason I don't like the community. There's enough of him in there. There's the pretentious ego in that statement.
That was a tough one. That was a tough read at the end there. But let's actually see the video. Let's watch it. Hold on.
So this post is in response to why we don't need game chat. Look at that dodge roll.
I like how he had to add in, like, look at that dodge roll. He's got to brag a little bit about his skills here.
Y'all say this is a toxic community because we talk about noobs, right? Here, I don't know what that is. Oh yeah, I have. For a legendary staff, I have Azur's great staff, right? Or I mean,
is there a truck backing up in the background? Do you hear that beeping?
Great staff, right? Or I mean,
did I hear that? Where is this nigga at, bro? What the fuck?
There's like, I think there's like a truck. I think there's like a garbage truck like backing up outside of his house. So as he's recording, I don't know why I found that funny. Sorry.
Azure staff. I could milk this boss hypothetically, but he will not stand still.
Yeah, so the boss unfortunately doesn't stand still in boss fights. A notorious problem that FromSoft has. I really wish that bosses just stayed still. That way I can just melt them, but fortunately they have to move around.
Crystal staff or Lucette staff would be fine here. Also, if you find a powerful staff, give it to the recluse. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Did you guys? Hold on, let me rewind that.
Okay, he's rewinding it, so in case you missed it.
Why? Oh my God. And both of these classes, I forget who it was. I believe it's the Iron Eye. Homie.
Very clearly the Guardian. Very clearly.
Homie, you're going to use that staff twice and you can't use it again. Why are you holding broken staffs? Look at the health. Not to mention,
He should give me that fast. He's tripping.
I have the affinity on.
Okay, it's like I said before, nobody's entitled to give you anything in the video game. If you got the staff, great. If he got the staff, I mean, you don't know what relics he has. He might be good.
All right, and now we arrive at the I hard disagree again. He's right. I don't like the dude in the Reddit post that's making the videos, but he's Catling. He's 100% right. You have no reason. A Guardian has absolutely no business using Stars of Ruin. That is literally the best spell for the Recluse. He can use it maybe twice, and then he's out of FP. Whereas the Recluse has infinite FP. I never run out when I'm in a match, right? I gotta disagree with this, man. You have no business using it. It's just, that's it. There is no argument where this makes sense. You're just using no one has to give it to you. You're right, but that doesn't mean it's okay. You understand that? You are effectively hurting that, run because you have a weapon you can do. You have what? How does a Guardian even scale into intelligence? It's probably a D, and you're sitting next to a mage. Why are you using a mage weapon as a Guardian? Your job is not to do damage. You have the worst damage in the game. With your strongest weapon, let's think about this for a second, because he keeps saying, oh, it doesn't matter. Let's think about this for 2 seconds, because this ideology falls apart so hard, so fast. As soon as you apply any type of logic to it, you are the weakest character in the game. The Guardian does the lowest amount of damage than any other character in the game, with the strongest weapon within his own weapon type. So if he has a halberd, because he uses sword and halberd, he uses a halberd and shield. If he has the strongest halberd in the game, he still does the weakest possible damage. So on what planet does it make sense for that character to have a staff that does magic, that does not scale with your character's abilities, when your own strongest weapon does the lowest damage of everyone else? And it makes no sense the moment you approach the situation with any type of logic outside of this mentality that he keeps pushing it. Oh, no one owes you a weapon. This is a team-based game, dude. We're on the same team. We are supposed to help each other. This is why I don't like the Souls community. The mentality of, oh, no one owes you. We're a team. We are helping each other. We are to assist one another. If I find Rivers of Blood and I'm not an Iron Eye and I'm not an Executor and I'm not Duchess, I'm giving it to one of them. I have no business using this weapon. The damage is going to be piss poor. A Raider has no business. We just talked about this. And in the same video, lo and behold, I just told you guys about this. I see this shit all the time. They keep picking up mage weapons when there's a mage on your team, and no one scales good with that magic except for the Duchess or the Recluse. Those are the only 2 characters that should be having that, right? Even the damn Revenant doesn't. You know what I mean? Even Revenants don't do that. A Revenant always drop. For some reason, Revenant players always drop me the weapons I need as a Recluse. But these melee-based characters having magic, it's just... I'm going to fight him on this. It just makes no sense. We just talked about that. And then lo and behold, you know what I mean? This is that shit, dude. This is that bullshit.
With the staff. Chances are he's probably not, but I guess they don't beat the boss because he's complaining about it and he posted on Facebook, so I'm assuming they didn't beat the boss. This is just another self-report. You're just not good enough to beat the boss. not because you didn't have the staff that you wanted. Like, yeah, it would be nice that he dropped the staff, but he doesn't have to. That's what he earned, and if he wants to use the staff, he gets to use the staff.
Do you
See, yeah, man, no. Nah. The difference in having that staff and not for the recluse is massive. Could you beat it without it? Yeah, I've done it plenty of times. That's beside the point. Being good enough to do it is different than it being there and you not being able to use it. You know what I mean? I've done runs without Stars of Ruin. Like, yeah, I can do it. Give me the Star Shatter. Give me the base staff. It'll take forever, but I can do it. You know what I mean? But you said he earned it. It's not for his character. His character can't do shit with it. He can use the ability maybe twice and he's out of FP. You know what I mean? Recluse can literally spam that move forever, indefinitely. No other character in the game can do that. There is not a single character in this game that can spam anything indefinitely. You can't use spells forever. You're going to run out of FP. And we don't have FP flasks in Nightreign. The Recluse can regenerate her own FP. But in some universe, he thinks that his character doesn't deserve to have it. Now, on the one hand, he's correct. Yeah, he doesn't have to give it to you. But on the other hand, that is not sportsmanlike. You're affecting the team. This is what I'm talking about. Team-based mindset. I need you guys to have a team-based mindset. Stop thinking like single players in a team-based game. This is fundamentally hurting the game. I don't agree with any other point this dude said. The Reddit guy, wherever this Reddit dude is, not a single other point he made I agree with. This one I do. He's right. He's right. It's just, there is no argument. He's right.
See all this open space that I have, all this time that I have right here? Guys, I get it. There's people who want to play the game. They just want to have fun. But read what the you pick up. Please, for the love of God.
Like, so let me get this straight. Let's say he's 100% in the right. Guardian, he doesn't do any damage. He doesn't have the FP in order to use that staff. Hypothetically, let's assume he's 100% right in this situation. What if nobody ended up getting the staff? Like, think about this. You guys are going through great bosses. You guys are increasing your chances of getting good staffs. What if you don't get this weapon? You're basically just saying that you guys are screwed.
No. Well, he might be saying that. I'm not. I'm saying that if it is present and you are not giving it, it is a problem. I have done many runs, like I just mentioned before, with Executor. I don't get Rivers of Blood. I don't get Dragon Scale Blade. I don't get, Hands of Millennia. It's a different story when you don't find it versus someone finding it and intentionally not giving it to you. You understand? There's nuance to this. In the sense that I understand not everyone knows the scaling of every weapon, right? So an Iron Eye might pick up Rivers of Blood and not give it to Executor. That's okay because Iron Eye does A in the dexterity. But if we take out the scaling, he just might not know what this weapon is. He might have just bought the game. He might just start playing and it's like, you know what? I just want to use this weapon. And that's fine. That's okay. But common sense will tell you there's a girl with magic over there and you just picked up a magic weapon. Don't you think you should probably, give it to her, right? If it's present and you're not giving to the character, you are part of the problem. If we don't pick it up, that's a different story. So this argument he's saying, well, if you don't find it, it doesn't work because no one found it. But when you find it, you are part of the problem. So I don't understand where he's going with this.
You don't get this weapon, the game's over. Because what you're saying is because your teammate didn't give you a staff that you wanted, because you can't use your staff because you're bad at hitting moving targets, you guys are going to lose the game.
Easier. I won't say you're going to lose the game. Now, for this guy in the video, the Reddit guy, that might be the case for him. For me, no. Like I said, I've done entire streams that are on my channel where I've still cleared the run and other people had weapons. And to make it worse, I'll see them with it and they don't even use it because at the end of a match, you can see their inventory, right? And they'll have a Stars of Ruin, never touched it, used it for a passive. It pissed me off, but we won, right? So I don't need it. But it's like, it helps make this that much easier, right? So it's a valid complaint no matter which way you go about this. Now to say we lost because of you, okay, no, I don't agree with that. We did not lose because that player gave you the staff or didn't give you the staff. We did not lose because of that. You may have contributed to that, but I myself can clear bosses with the Recluse without needing Stars of Ruin. The character is really damn good. I love her, by the way. But to say that you played no part in it, debatable. I don't know, man. You should probably drop that staff for the mage. Should probably drop the mage weapon for the mage. If no other character in the game is such a hard bell curve as her. She's like the worst example for this video. He could have picked any other example for this, and he picked the worst example that argues against his point the hardest. This is like the one time where his point falls completely flat. You could have picked Executor, you could have picked Revenant. He picked the one character that has the worst argument against him. Recluse gets Stars of Ruin. End of conversation.
Again, this is just a huge self-report on how bad you are. You shouldn't have to have certain staffs. I mean, look, you got 2 rare staffs and you can't get the job done because you don't have the one staff that your guardian has. Like, dude, maybe you're just bad. Maybe that's it. All right, this is a pretty good one. It actually was just posted. So, Rage Quit Alert. I'm Recluse running with a Wilder and an Iron Eye. So boom, the whole run we're behind but kept getting lucky. Evergold saved us for the first night with a 30k rune pop. I got legendary bow, boom, dropped it for the Iron Eye. I got legendary grafted, boom, dropped it for the Wilder. Okay, sounds like a good teammate. Here's where it gets crazy. Wilder is holding a Dark Moon Greatsword, which my rune setup is literally built around. Which is my rune set. I think he means relic setup. Am I misreading that? I think he means relic setup, like all the weapons that scale the best with his relics and his character. 3 blue stacks.
Here we go. I want to talk about this. We're going to end it soon because I did not expect for this video to be this long, but I had to talk about this. So he said he's a recluse and Dark Moon Greatsword. Yeah, no. I understand that's a magic weapon. That's a Wilder. He keeps the Dark Moon Greatsword. You're a recluse. You have no business with being within melee range of anything. You know what I mean? You have no business being close to the boss. You have no health. You get 1 or 2 shot by anything. What do you need the Dark Moon Greatsword for? We were just talking about Stars of Ruin. Now you flip the pendulum talking about the Dark Moon Greatsword. You have no business with that weapon in your hand as a recluse. Yes, it's a magic greatsword, but it's a greatsword. You gonna use the weapon art? Were you gonna be running around hitting them with the attack? Why do you have spells? Why are you getting close? You can't get close. You have no damage negation. You have no HP. You're literally designed to be from at a distance. You know what I mean? You have even less health than the Iron Eye, who is squishy himself because they are ranged characters. So yeah, completely writing this off. We're gonna write this one off. This dude's tripping. Yeah, you don't really need to have that weapon, bro.
Staves and a purple magic sword, but it has a good skill but not enough. I'm in the waiting room trying to signal for a trade, doing the little emote.
Go ahead and we're gonna end the video right here. This is a good amount of time. I did not want this video to be this long, but I had to talk about this stuff. I will link his video down below. Check him out, watch it. His video is only 20 minutes. I added 30 minutes yapping onto that bitch because you know how I do. We always talking over here. But yeah, that's it for me, guys. I had to comment on this. I was going to make an individual video addressing these things, but reacting is even more fun because I can keep it on a point-to-point basis. But yeah, have a team-based mindset, guys. This is not a single-player game. Go play Elden Ring if you want to be like that, or play solo. Stop coming in here making everything about you when you have 2 other people to be concerned with. And yeah, PSA, drop the Stars of Ruin for your recluse. But yeah, until next time, guys, like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I want to hear you guys' opinion. I want to know what you guys think about this. This is a very big topic that's been going around among the Souls community with Nightreign because it's a pretty big thing. I've experienced it firsthand myself. You guys have seen in my streams how it goes. So it does get under my skin. Whether it's rage bait, whether it's by accident, it gets under my skin. So nonetheless, until next time, guys, I'll be uploading another video today, going over a couple details and giving you guys some updates for the new drop on Executor Mod for Elden Ring. But yeah, until next time, guys, raiding out.